Cardania is one of the OG gaming projects built on Cardano that have a whole ecosystem around their NFTs, and it's really cool what they've put together. They have all these various land plots that you can purchase and then harvest resources through there. They also have their own in-game token called RAD, and it's pretty interesting how that has evolved over time. They have these card game packs that are part of their ecosystem too, and it gives a boost and whatnot throughout the platform, and I really like the artwork that is gone through there as well. Now, if you have a look at some of these cards here, these are the card packs. You can purchase them and buy them through a JPEG store, all these unopened packs. You can open them up and you can see the cards inside. They also have an extensive codex which takes you through their whole ecosystem. So if you did want to dig into this one, you can go through all their documentation and learn exactly how it works. But essentially, if you manage to get one of the land tiles here, such as this one, they all have different properties and everything from different amounts of resources on them, the power level and everything else around it. They've got quite a few land titles here that you can choose from, and they start off at the floor price of 72 ADA at the moment. So it isn't too much to get into this one, get started, but there is a lot to learn in terms of all of the resources. But like I said, you can go through all the codex here, learn about harvesting and learn about how all their ecosystem works, earn some of those RAD tokens, and potentially even sell them and trade those RAD tokens on the market too. So you can see here, this is a snapshot of daily. The token is trading on MinSwap and other major dexes too. But here you can see their harvest screen and managing your land plots. This screen here has a founder's card, so you get extra 15% bonus, and then multiple land plots down below. And you can see the amount of RAD tokens that they have here occurred every epoch. So you earn these like every 5 days or so, then all the resources around it as well. Now, if you're wanting to get into this, they do have a mint going on at the moment for their starships as well. So it's a big ecosystem. But if you want to get started, I highly recommend probably just starting with one of these land plots here, and then you can start harvesting resources from it. They also have a stake pool that you can delegate to, and it helps with the development. But I have Chris joining me on this episode to talk all about the Cardania ecosystem, everything that they've developed and built over the years. It's pretty cool what they have done, and it's an ever-evolving game. They have a very engaged community, meeting on a regular basis every Friday night to play marbles on Discord, as well as out of all the things. All right, let's get into this interview.
Yeah, gotta do it like that. You've been listening to the Learn Cardano podcast. Gotta get it hype. Crypto is what we like, but this is not investment or financial advice. Gotta do your research, cause it's risky. We know it is. This show is educational and it's informative. Crypto's the future, really, it ain't no debate.
Chris, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me, Pete.
Now, I've seen this project around for quite a while. I've staked in the ISPO as well for a bit to try and get some of these tokens as well. And I've just looked into the ecosystem, and I'd love to learn about how it all works and the artwork and everything else around it. So can you talk me through what the project is and what you guys are trying to build?
Cardania, in its current iteration, is a Web3 game studio. We've shipped our first title, Epic Wars, in the last few months, and we've been developing it. I'd call it, it's almost a beta. It's live, but everything's working quite well. But we're layering so many updates on in such rapid fire fashion right now that it's sort of somewhat beta. But we've got hundreds of players on Cardano, and that is sort of the current major effort of Cardania. But Cardania is a little bit bigger than that. It's sort of, I like to liken it to maybe, a little bit bigging it up, but I like to liken it to maybe Marvel or DC in that it's a brand that we're trying to build IP around. So it's the whole concept is that everything's happening on this big space station that's sort of shaped like the sea that you may have seen around Cardano. And basically, there's 7 different factions of different species that are sort of vying for power, and all the stories and gameplay kind of all take place in the context of that. And then we have a little bit some very interesting like tech stack stuff. I think we're probably the first sort of like card packs that you could open on the chain. You You can do all of that, collect your cards, manage your lands, harvest resources, and actually play the game Epic Wars, all at nexus.cardania.com. So it's sort of an integrated Web3 hub with evolving game experiences, kind of where we're at right now.
So is there like a storyline to this as well that we can follow along with? Because there's a lot of games out there that you can play, the Web3 games, but there's not much of a storyline.
Yeah, so the background, we've kind of set the background right now, and sort of we've put out a few little bits and pieces on stories on our YouTube channel. But basically, the space station exists in the year 1 million in the same solar system, the solar system. And basically, the background is all these factions are there for particular reasons, and they're all very interested in Cardania itself as a station, as a power source. The summoning pool is sort of at the heart of Cardania, and it's sort of this kind of quantum power source, and that's where we get summoned the stake pool from. So it's actually integrated with the chain in both like an architectural way and like a story way.
That's really cool. All right. So how do people actually play this? Do we need to purchase the NFTs and whatnot to actually get into the game and start playing it?
Yes, I will say the on-ramp is not, it's not super smooth yet, but it's relatively simple if you're committed. You can Web3 connect at nexus.cardania.com. Nami Wallet, Eternal Wallet, Typhon Wallet, and Flint Wallets are all integrated. Once you've connected there and you've delegated that wallet with Summon, you're going to want some terraforms. Terraforms are our land blocks. Folks that are familiar with Cardano probably know about terraforms. We were like the second land to launch just after Pavia on Cardano. A bunch of different land types. They all produce different resources based on the metadata that's embedded in them. And those enable you to interact with the map in Epic Wars. And that's sort of the basic. That's sort of the basic gameplay. And then we've also integrated functionality for our Enter the Ultraverse cards, which all of this stuff you can find on JPEG Store as well. So the Enter the Ultraverse cards kind of function as your basic units. You can either purchase individual creature cards or you can purchase unopened packs on JPEG Store. There's 7 different first edition packs. And there's also citizens and starships, which are integrated as well. Starships are still minting, and citizens minted out some time ago, but they are available again on JPEG Store. So, and they all do somewhat different things within the game itself. And you can go in as deep as you would like. You could just do terraforms. Your terraforms produce resources every epic. Even if you're not attacking other players every epic, you'll still accrue some resources just based on having your terraform. So it can be a pretty easy entry that way. Most folks, I think, tend to get in with like a few terraforms, maybe a handful of cards, and then they start playing that way. And as our most recent update, you can also build citadels on your terraforms now as well, which is super cool. And oh, go ahead.
It seems like an ever-evolving game platform that you guys are building there. So it's pretty cool. Well, one of the things that I really loved about it is the artwork that you put together as well. So I saw it originally from the terraforms as well. I loved the land plot artwork that you did, but then all the characters and everything else that came out afterwards, it's just evolved over time. It's just getting a little bit better and better overall. Can you talk through the artwork and the style? Did you do it all yourself?
I started doing it all myself. So the way Cardania kind of manifested was that I had this idea for like a space station, sort of like what I guess we conceive of now as like the Metaverse. I was like, I'd love this sort of location based thing using NFTs as the architecture for it. And so I kind of came up with the lands and the card idea pretty early on. And then I was planning to do all the card art myself initially. And then I was like, oh my gosh, this is a huge, it's a huge task. Yeah. So I started pulling in a couple other artists, and fortunately the terraforms were kind of our big hit of, it was early 2022. And, so with a bunch of that funding, actually, I went and hired, 9 different artists to do the full first edition. Some really awesome ones. Nicholas Wolf, um, Mina Vellacastello, Paulo Gaviola, and Shadow Priest, a few other ones as well. And they collectively put together about 400 different pieces for the full first edition. Yeah, it was a lot. It was quite the effort. It took several months. And while we were doing it, everyone's also like, "Well, what are you doing? What's going on?" I'm like, "We're making it." But it's all there and it's done, and you can see the full first edition on the Nexus, even if you don't own the cards. If you just want to browse the art, it's just beautiful, and I'm so happy with how it turned out. And we were very blessed with very talented artists.
Now, I did have a look on JPEG Store a little bit earlier, and the trading volume and everything looks pretty good. The floor prices are holding on there as well, so you must be pretty happy overall. But for anyone that's worked on or wanting to build a project like yours, what advice can you give them to get started? It sounds like such a daunting task. There's so much to do. So you got to hire the people, but then you also got to raise some funds to pay people. What words of wisdom can you give?
So Cardania's model is a little bit different, and I always hesitate to give anybody advice that works for me because I don't know if it'll work for them. However, I can say what some of the things we've done different that have worked, or that Cardania's model is very commission based. So if I have an artist and a developer and they're working on a specific mint, then they're getting a lot of the profit of that mint directly. So what that enables us to do, while we're probably paying over market rate for those mints, we are still able to keep those people mutually invested and continue making good stuff. And it keeps the company's burn rate extremely low. Like, we don't have any employees. Which I think it's a very unique model compared to sort of a traditional game studio where you've got your salaried people and this long run rate. Cardania operates basically at a burn rate that's less than 2,000 a month, which is pretty easy to keep up with. So it keeps our bottom line pretty simple. And then, again, I don't know if that will work for everybody, but it's a model you can pursue. And then it's really just about finding good team members that are talented and committed, and that you can trust, you can empower them. Our lead developer, Eustasia, is just a total powerhouse, and we've been, again, incredibly blessed, as well as our artists. And I would also say to try to cater to what you like, and then that'll bring in people who also like what you like. And that seems to work for us. So
pretty cool advice, and very interesting model as well. I think it could possibly work for a lot of people, especially to get people on board and invested in the project too, because it brings them along long term. Yeah, that's pretty good, interesting idea. So for anyone that wants to get started with Cardania right now, what should we be doing? Should we going out buying land plots, joining Discord server? I'm assuming. Should we start staking?
Oh, yeah,
and how do we start staking? Okay,
for sure. So a few things. Definitely join the Discord. The Discord is very active. Our community is like hyper active. I don't think there's any bots in there. We're constantly kicking them out if they do show up. They're all real life people. You might enjoy Friday Night Marbles. It's sort of our weekly kind of live community event. It's on Twitch, twitch.tv/Cardania_2021. The Discord is discord.gg/Cardania. And both of those just to get into the community and kind of see what's going on. And then if you do want to start purchasing Cardania stuff, I really do recommend starting with a Terraform, because that's kind of the axis around what a lot of current gameplay spins around. And they're relatively affordable. I think the floor right now is like 80 ADA or something like that. Yeah. From there, if you want to keep going, then please do. Staking is rather simple. We have one-click staking set up through nexus.cardania.com. Again, we've got those 4 wallets integrated with it, and it's pretty simple to do. And then once you're there, it's kind of choose your own adventure. If you really like to collect cards, I'd recommend getting some card packs. maybe get yourself some individual cards. If you really like Epic Wars, you might want to invest in building some citadels. But you have to keep in mind there's a collectability aspect and there's a gameplay aspect. And like some people may not want to spend their resources on citadels because the citadels can get destroyed and you have to repair them. It's like it's part of the game. Some people may just want to hoard their stuff, but that's kind of the fun part about it is you get to choose. You have the ownership, and that's kind of why this model is so interesting and so new and empowering. Yeah,
to spend all that time getting resources, building a citadel, and then just to have it destroyed, it's a rather painful gameplay.
It's painful, but you know what? They can be defended. You can build walls. You can reinforce them. So there's options for you.
All right, brilliant. I'll put all the links to everything in the show notes for this episode so everyone can join in on all the fun and find out a little bit more about Cardania. But Chris, thank you so much for joining me on this episode and take me through the world of Cardania.
Hey, thank you so much for having us. And feel free to reach out anytime. We're pretty active on Twitter. And we are doing a giveaway. I'll mention if any of our followers on Threads, any new followers, basically on August 1st, random follower will win a prismatic land, which is our most rare land piece. So,
wow! All right, I'll get it on that one as well. Awesome, Chris. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
If you found this one interesting, please check out all the links down below, all the references there so you can find out a little bit more about Cardania and what the team are building there. Now, I'll be jumping in and trying this out as well. So if I can buy some of these land plots and earn a little bit of these RAD tokens, build up my ecosystem and earn some more, maybe I can start trading and selling some of these RAD tokens and making a little bit of ADA out of it as well. So we'll see how that works. I do a lot in the DeFi space, but not so much in the GameFi space. So let's see how this all evolves, and I'll keep you up to date with how I'm going my Cardania land plots over the course of this year. So let's see how this works out. Now, if you enjoyed this content, thumbs up, subscribe, click that notification bell, and you'll hear a lot more great Cardano content from me real soon. See you in the next video.
Yeah, gotta do it like that. You've been listening to the Learn Cardano podcast. Gotta get it hype. Crypto is what we like, but this is not investment or financial advice. Gotta do your research, cause it's risky. We know it is. This show is educational and it's informative. Crypto's the future, really, it ain't no debate.